I think that the Team Republican strategy with crypto is okay, we need to create, every administration needs to create a bubble to paper over the previous one that burst, right? And so, if what stands out, we have the AI and we have the crypto bubble, and so the Trump administration wants crypto to go up. If crypto goes up, and then now you can essentially securitize that crypto, right? Whether it's go to JP Morgan with your ETF and get a margin loan to do other stuff, whatever it is. Now you can get a house and pump the housing market. So let's take this cohort, let's pump them up with, market friendly regulations and a lot of printed money. They're going to repay us by paying taxes and buying stuff. Now, if the housing market goes bananas because the crypto folks are buying it and everyone in America feels rich and they go out and take a home equity loan because now the 10-year yield is much lower and they compress the risk premium on mortgage-backed securities, oh my God, they just unleash trillions of dollars into the economy. Everybody's happy because 65% of the American public owns a house. There you go. There's your election.
So there we have a quick take from Arthur Hayes. We'll hear more from Arthur. He's talking about some of the things that Trump has going on with his current administration. We'll get to that before the video's out. And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you. Another cryptocurrency video. And guys, we are showing you this. The Bitcoin Bros have partnered with BitCaps. If you guys are interested in getting any of these premium elite BitCaps starter hats, they're having a special 15% off. Make sure you check them out at bitcaps21.com. Getting straight to it, Trump promises to send $2,000 tariff dividend checks probably by the middle of next year, a little bit later than that, quote unquote, from Trump as of latest of today. So what will this mean for markets? Will this cause another frenzy like we've seen when the money printer started to turn on and issue out stimulus to the general public in 2020 and 2021? The reason was different why that happened, but the result for the economy will end up being the same. And while this is being talked about, the short term holder supply and profit loss ratio is now the lowest it's ever been. So this is a buy the dip opportunity. Bitcoin's back down close to 91,000. Is the bull run over with? We'll talk about that before the video's out. In the meantime, between time, the fear and greed index is in the floor as well. Extreme fear in the markets down to 15. Over in Japan, they just killed the global money printer and nobody noticed. The most dangerous number in finance right now is 1.71. This is the Japanese 10-year bond yield. This is the highest since 2008. For 30 years, Japan printed infinite money at 0% rates and exported it worldwide. 3.4 trillion flowed into US treasuries, European debt, emerging markets. This invisible bid kept your mortgage cheap, your stocks inflated, your government solvent. And then in November of this year, that bid disappeared. They're pumping $110 billion of stimulus into their economy, while debt sits around 263% of their current GDP. Japanese pension funds are pulling 1.1 trillion out of their treasuries right now because keeping money in America loses them money after hedging costs. When Japan stops buying, interest rates don't stay flat, they explode. The US 10-year yields will jump 40 basis points minimum alone. Your 7% mortgage becomes 8%. Corporate debt refinances costs spike 60%. Zombie companies holding $3 trillion in junk bonds start defaulting in waves. The yen carry trade just reversed 1.2 trillion in borrowed yen funding. Crypto stocks, emerging markets must unwind. So that's definitely a huge canary in the coal mine of what's going on in the Eastern world. And right now, this pullback, there's a lot of people that are fearful but not zooming out and looking at the bigger picture, because this type of pullback happened back in 2020 before we rallied from 10,000 up to ultimately 65 to 69,000. But the fun could just be starting, even though this bull run has been going on since mid 23. And right here, also the CME gap needed to get filled. And look what happened. It got filled to its entirety. And the last time we had this meltdown to the 70,000 range, we had a similar pullback. CME gaps got filled, double bottomed out, had that bullish divergence, then blast off. Could that be a rinse repeat scenario? Looking at Bitcoin at the current time of this recording, we're sitting at 90.6K. What do we see? What do we anticipate? Zooming into this price action, we can see we've been just stair-stepping our way up, putting in higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. But right now, from these bottoming areas, we just fell below this upwards trend line. Does this mean the fun is over with, or are we in the midst of a bear cycle starting? Could we see something like this come back up, retest this back up to 96,000 before we then get a further drawdown? The line in the sand to pay attention to. Let's look at our horizontal line back here when the trend definitely changes down to $75,000. If we do break above, or I mean below this, sorry, we come down and break below this, that means we're now putting in a low and then a lower low whenever this would have some type of relief rally, but the trend would be changing in this scenario. This has not got there yet. There's a lot of fear in the markets. Does this mean the fun's over with? Not quite there. There's a lot of confluence in the charts where we are back around 90,000. Could we fall further? Yes, we could come down here and actually have some type of double bottoming pattern that's playing out before we have a continuation to the upside, or the fun could be over with. We could go into a multi-year bear cycle. Either way, it's a buying opportunity, continue to dollar cost average into a stronger position. Arthur Hayes is going to continue to weigh in and what he sees with all this stimulus talk, things that could be happening, things that Trump could be doing. Let's hear the latest from Arthur.
Yeah, I think I think you should view this tariff thing as a signal, not the actual event. Right. So what is he signaling here? He's signaling that Team Red Republicans are in the business of giving out free shit. Now, this isn't specifically free shit because if they've taxed consumers on the one hand to pay the tariff and then they give it back to them, it's kind of a net wash. At the end of the day, I'm sure there's some distribution issues, but this isn't as a game changer as if he said, we are going to issue $500 billion or more of treasuries and hand it out to the public. Like that would be another level of bullishness for all types of risky assets. This, I think, is signaling that Team Red Republicans are in the game of giving out free shit. And this is a very easy thing to say because he could paint it to his conservative folks as, oh, no, it's budget neutral because we've already collected the tariff revenue. But again, it's in the same theme of, hey, there are these Democrats like Mamdani and others out there saying, we're going to give you free shit. Well, Republicans are in the game of giving free shit too. And this is how we're going to do it. And here's a signal of that we're serious about this. I think we're going to see a lot of different types of things coming out from them next year. But again, I just think it's creating this narrative that it's election time to give out the goodies. Here's an area where we can give you goodies, tariffs, versus, I don't know, Mamdani said, I'm going to give you a free bus pass or whatever it is, right? So again, it's all positioning and narrative. I don't really know if it'll actually get through. Whether or not, I mean, who knows if his tariffs are even legal, right? The U.S. Supreme Court's voting on whether they believe that Trump had the power to even levy these things. So again, I think it's more of a direction of travel. Understand that he's serious about giving out free shit. How he does it, we'll find out. But don't doubt that him and Buffalo Bill Besson are going to print a ton of money to make sure that they have the greatest chance, Team Republican, the greatest chance of winning in the November 2026 elections.